Hello, Star Citizens, and welcome to Alien Week. I didn't know if there would be a sale, but there is indeed a sale, and there are two, let's say, kind of crappy CCUs, but we'll get to that. I do owe you guys some ship giveaways, so I will be doing those soon. I'm probably gonna go live this weekend and talk about it. I've been a little sick over the last few weeks, so I've been trying not to do videos, but I still owe you guys a bunch of ship reviews and stuff like that. So those are still gonna come. And of course, we gotta talk about the Prowler Utility. We'll just talk about it a little bit when we get here. I'm a little nonplussed. I knew it was coming. I called it. If you go back in the videos, I called it. I knew the Prowler Utility was coming a year ago. So I'm just saying. Well, not a year ago, October, but that's long enough ago. Anyway, so I don't know what we're giving away this month, but we are giving away something. So make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you are liking or disliking the videos, and make sure you leave a comment to qualify. All right, let's jump right into Alien Week. There's that. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. That Prowler Utility. All right, so they got, of course, some new paints. This is pretty much what we get every Alien Week. I'm glad that they finally revealed a new ship on Alien Week. It was starting to become one of those events that I was just thinking maybe we should just skip because nothing happens except for paints. But yeah, now there's Wickelow's 9 taste contest. They want you to cook some stuff up and make it look like it's alien food. And then there you go, the Prowler Utility. It's stealth and style, so it seems to be a kind of stealth cargo ship. You can only carry 32 SCU of cargo in it, which makes sense for the way that it looks. I just kind of wish they put a little bit more in it. I feel like a cargo ship is the last thing I expected out of a Prowler variant, but maybe that's the idea. It's you're a bird of prey and you're swooping in and grabbing the cargo and then flying off with it. Maybe that's the idea. That's what it seems like is the idea. So I get it, but it seems like it'll be pretty good for smuggling as well. So, being under the radar, but we'll have to test it out and put it through its paces. All right, and then it says make contact at a bar. They're doing the Bar Citizens June 14th, June 15th. So definitely, if you're in Austin, where is that? Austin, Frankfurt, Manchester, or Montreal, you can go ahead and go to those Bar Citizens, and they're giving away some cool stuff. It looks like it might be this Vandal skull thing on the screen here. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That might be what they're giving away. Like at these Bar Citizens during Alien Week, they tend to give away something cool, so that'd be pretty cool. All right. The Luminary paint seems to be the new paint this year. So we got the Sulin Luminary paint. Talon gets it. Prowler gets it, of course. And then you can get the 3 paint pack. There's an Alien Complete paint pack, which I'm assuming is just the Luminary paints. For $136. Oh, it's all of the Alien paints. Okay, that's cool. $136 is a lot for paints, though. Unless you just happen to be a super Alien fan. And of course, they brought the Ocellus paints. I really like these paints. I think I have a Nox, but I don't know if I'll keep it, but I do like the Ocellus paint. So we're gonna put some stuff in our cart. I don't know if I'm actually gonna buy it, but if we go down here to our Alien Complete pack, they have, some suits and stuff too, but we really just came here for the packs. It looks like these are for concierge, but we'll take a look at them anyway. So it looks like you get the Sulian, Talon, Talon Shrike, Prowler, Prowler Utility, Defender, Nox, Cartual, Vandal, Glaive, Vandal Blade, Santok Yai, Merchantman, Raylan. And you get it all for $27.50 if you spend cash. If you don't spend cash, then you get it all for $3,050. Do I think this is worth it? If you own most of these ships, obviously, if you already own most of these ships, but the only ships I'm interested in are the Talon, the Prowler, maybe the Prowler Utility, So the Talon, maybe the Prowler Utility. The Nox, the Glaive and Blade aren't really there yet. So the Merchantman and the Merchantman and the Railin I already own. So there's only 4 ships on here I could say I'm legitimately interested in. And if I add up the 4 ships, the Merchantman, the Railin, which that's what, like 700 or 800, Merchantman's 6, so like 850, let's say 850. Just some armchair math. Prowler, that's like 1200, let's say 1300. And then the Talon, which is like 115, so that's like $1,400. Those are the only ships in here that I want personally. The Glaive and the Blade are cool. Like I don't have anything against the rest of these ships, but I just don't see a reason for me to get the complete pack because it has a lot of ships that I don't particularly want or need. All right, to the ships. Speaking of ships I don't need, but maybe you might, Blade, the Blade. I like the Blade. I think that the Blade and the Glaive and the Scythe, I think all 3 of those are going to end up being some of the best in their class when they are balanced to be so. And I don't think they'll be balanced to be so for the foreseeable future. Like, well, not foreseeable future. That's a little bit too intense. Let's say for the next 6 months to a year. I doubt that they'll be where they need to finally be in the next 6 months to a year. By next Alien Week, maybe. But yeah, that's my only problem with these are they're super expensive, and it seems like you're only just paying an alien tax without getting anything back. Like generally, if you pay an alien tax, it's because there's some unique feature or some cool thing this ship can do that no other ship can do. And the Blade just doesn't give me that. So for $275, it's a pass for me, but I can understand why some people buy it because it looks really friggin' cool. The Defender. This ship is actually a little bit underrated, to be kind of honest with you. But the problem is it still has some work that needs to be done because the second player doesn't really have a whole lot to do. But that being said, it's actually a pretty decent two-seat fighter. It just needs, I think, balancing in the same way. And that's probably going to be the story for a lot of these ships, is that they just need balancing. So the Glaive. The Glaive is awesome. I just think that the Glaive at $350 is really pushing the boundary of like what people should pay for a fighter, because it's the most expensive fighter, if I'm not mistaken. It's the most expensive single-seater fighter, and it's a medium fighter. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that this ship is going to be awesome, again, when they get around to like balancing it and making sure that the blade arms work properly and that it doesn't just blow up immediately as soon as it tries to do its ramming. But I think it's a really cool ship, and I love that it's a medium fighter and not a heavy fighter, because with the size guns it has, it could have easily just been a heavy fighter, but it moves like a medium fighter. So it's all balancing when it comes to this. Now, the Cartual is the exception to the rule, really. The Cartual, to me, is a ship that is really, it's for the scout, right? It's a scout fighter, but I say fighter very loosely. The Cartual doesn't strike me as a good fighting ship. It really doesn't. I've seen some people that can use it, so I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just not a ship I would buy if I was looking for a fight. I would really focus on the scout portion of it and only use those weapons to kind of take pop shots at people to get them off to make them break contact so that you can get out of dodge. But it's really fast. It's really maneuverable. So I still like it. I just wouldn't use it as a fighter. The Banu Merchantman. We'll come back to the Banu Merchantman because that's probably where we're going to spend most of our time. So let's put that one at the end. The Nox. So the Nox is the fastest hover one-seater. So it is a really fast and really small little speeder. And I really like the Nox. It's just that when they took away the shield, they kind of, I think they kind of set a tone to make the X1, the X1 Force, to me, the better one to purchase, unless you specifically want something for the speed. And maybe that's what they were trying to do. Maybe they were trying to make it to where when you were choosing your hover bike or hover vehicle, you had to choose. Do you want the toughest one? Do you want the fastest one? Do you want the one with the shield? Do you want the one with the largest gun? What do you want? And to me, I'd take the X1 Force and its shield. And plus, you could put a shotgun on the front of that thing. And, well, you can go crazy. And then we have the Prowler. The overpriced Tavarin dropship. I love the design of the Prowler. It's probably one of my favorite designs that CIG has ever done. That being said, I don't think it's very useful unless you're in very heavy need of a dropship. So $440 for a dropship is a lot. $440 for a dropship is a lot. So just make sure that if you're buying this, it's going to get a lot of use. Otherwise, you're probably not going to want to spend $440 on it. Now, this one, on the other hand, we'll come back to this one as well, because I have a lot to say about that. So we'll do that one, and then we'll do our beloved. The Raylan. I own a Raylan. I think the Raylan is going to be one of the better cargo ships. It's right in the middle of cargo ships, and I mean, like, it can carry a decent amount of cargo. It can go a decent speed. It's a blockade runner, so it's going to be, I think, one of the better cargo ships in the game, especially for the amount of cargo it carries and the fact that it kind of has like semi-covered cargo, like all these triangles that you see on the back of it. All those triangles are, it looks to me like you could take those off and then put your cargo inside of those, or maybe just press a button and all of them open. I don't know how that's going to function, but I also like the look of it. I think the Raylan is a really cool looking ship, and I like that it kind of transforms. So I think it's a really cool ship. I think it's great looking. I like the fact that it's a cargo ship that actually can carry a decent amount of cargo, 300 plus. I think it's 320, but I know it's over 300 SU of cargo. And it has some size 4 weapons on it if you need to get busy, but you really shouldn't really be getting busy in this. This is going to be a little bit faster, so you really should be able to get away. But the size 4s will allow you to at least hold your own for a little while you're trying to orient yourself for that jump. So yeah, I think the Raylan is a good ship. I have it in my fleet, so I think it's a winner. The Santok Yai. The Santok Yai is the same, has the same issues as the Cartual, except this one can actually fight a little bit. It takes some practice and it takes some getting used to. You really have to like practice with the Santok Yai to really get good at it. But if you do, it is a pretty decent fighter. Now I say decent, I'm not saying good or great. It's decent. It's like a C plus on the fighter scale. And that's, again, only if you really practice with it. I just don't like the sound that it makes. If I like the sound that it makes, it would be probably be in the fleet, but I just don't like that sound. And I still am waiting on something else for POA. I want them to, maybe they'll capture my heart with their heavy fighter. I don't know. We'll see. And of course, the Sulin. Now, this is a great starter ship for people who want something different. I know a lot of people are like, well, why would I get a starter ship? I'm just going to end up upgrading to something else. Well, the Sulin is actually kind of fun to fly once you get the hang of it. And, it's, to me, one of the better looking alien ships that we have. I love that stone, texture that it has on the 3 fins there. It's really cool looking. It can carry 6 SU of cargo, has a bed in it. It's a decent starter ship. At $70, you could probably do better because we know that everybody loves the Avenger Titan. That being said, though, if you want something different, I wouldn't be mad at you if you got the Sulin. Then we have the Talon. So the Talon, we can actually do these together, the Talon and the Talon Shrike. So the Talon and the Talon Strike. The Talon, of course, being your basic light fighter, and then you have your hit and run fighter. So this one is a little bit different. But to me, the one that you really want is the base Talon. I think the Talon is a really good light fighter. It's just a little overpriced because you're paying that alien tax. I think the problem with the Talon is it's too big. So it doesn't fit in a lot of places that I would want it to fit, because I would have a Talon if it just fit, like maybe if the wings could come in a little bit more and I could start to fit it in a lot more of my hangars and stuff, or not hangars, but like my, the hangars on my ships. That would be a lot better, and I think they would sell a lot more of them. Now, the Talon Strike to me is, I'm not a huge fan of the Strike itself, but I know there's some fans out there. I think to me, if you're going to get a light fighter, it should be able to go a little bit head up. But I think if you pair these two in a team, then you would be all right. But if I'm picking between the Talon Strike and the Talon, the base Talon, I would just get the base Talon. But let me know in the comments, are there any Talon Strike fans out there? Because if you're a Talon Strike fan, I really want to know. All right. Let's talk about the Prowler Utility. Okay, now I get what they're doing here, right? They want a ship, technically it's a one-person ship, but you can, it has jump seats I still think it has jump seats for 4 more people. So, you could bring some people along with you, so you could still say it's a transport ship, 32 SCU of cargo, and it has a tractor beam, right? And I think the idea of this ship is you swoop in, take cargo, steal cargo, etc., and then you can leave and you're stealthy with your cargo hauling. So if you're doing like low retrieval jobs where it's not more than 32 SCU of cargo, I can understand why you would take the Prowler with you, because of its low signature. You don't have to worry so much about getting scanned and people trying to take your cargo from you. At the same time, it's a $300 ship. It's $300 to just carry 32 SCU of cargo. I mean, it really is. It starts to seem to me that this is for the Prowler fan. It's not necessarily for the person who needs a cargo hauler. It's for the person who's always wanted a Prowler and needed a reason to get one. And at 200 and I think it's, 280, I think, war bond. I don't think you're missing out too much. And they got some war bonds here that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, I don't think you're missing out on too much. I think $300 is a lot, but I think 280 for it, that seems like it's right where it needs to be. I think it's 280. It might be 275. I got it. We'll check that at the end. But yeah, I think it's decent if you're going to, upgrade up to it. I would try to save some money on it, but I think it's decent. My first hint is like they downgraded the weapons, the size 5s to size 4s, which I understand, but I wish they would have upped the size 3 to a size 4 that's on the top, the dual size 3s, because it seems to me if they would have upped that to size 4s and just have all size 4s, I feel like it would have been, I don't think you would have had as many complaints. But I don't know. It strikes me as a very middle of the road ship. It's just like, again, we have a C+, I think. I don't think it's a bad ship. I don't think it's a good ship. I think it's just, it exists. It's there. It's there for people who need that particular type of ship. I like the idea. I think it's really cool to have like the little spindles come off of the cargo and then wrap the cargo back up. It really does look like the car, like it's just swooping down and grabbing something and then flying away. But I feel like 32 SCU of cargo doesn't really meet the $300 threshold for me. I would have loved to see it have like 64. That would have met my threshold a little bit. But again, I don't think that this ship is for the people who are trying to min-max or anything like that. I think this ship is for the Prowler lovers. You love the Prowler, here you go. Here's a version of the Prowler that actually has utility outside of being a dropship. And I think that's who this is for. For people who are like, I like the Prowler's design so much that I just want to own one. Here you have it, the Prowler Utility. Now, I am one of those people. I'm one of those people who has always wanted a utility, or always wanted a Prowler, and couldn't justify the $440 for it, even if I could get it, cheaper. But I could justify the $200 for a Prowler Utility. So I'll probably get an upgrade to it, but I don't know if I'll stick with it because I'm still holding out hopes that there's another Prowler variant coming. Another one. Yes, a third Prowler variant. I am holding out hopes that a third one is coming. And that's all I'll say about that. We'll find out what that war bond price is a little bit later, though. All right, let's go back to the Merchantman. Right now, I think you can get it for like $50 off, so it's at $600. The Merchantman is the quintessential alien ship to buy, if you ask me. I think the Merchantman, when it's all said and done, even if it's 2 or 3 years from now, I think the Merchantman will end up being one of the best ships in Star Citizen. I think it'll be in the top 5 conversation. Well, let's say the top 10 conversation for all people, because some people just hate alien ships, and that, we're not going to call that discrimination. We're just going to say some people just don't like alien ships. But yeah, I think when it's all said and done, it'll be hard to find a list of the top 10 best ships in Star Citizen and the Merchantman not be on that list. It'll be on most people's top 10 list. Top 5, you might, maybe not most people, but definitely top 10. I think it'll be one of the best ships that Star Citizen has ever made. The gun sizes are great. I mean, the work they've done on it already is great. It has excellent utility. It has like 4 or 5 different uses. It's got a hangar. It's got tons of storage. It's got, the bazaar. It's got great living quarters. It's got size 8 weapon. Like, I mean, come on. This thing has so much to offer. And even still at $650, I think the price is going to go up. I would not be surprised if the price doesn't go up to $750 when the brand new Merchantman is released. So, folks, I think this is one of those ones. It's very rare that I tell people go out and buy an expensive ship. But if you are in the market for an expensive ship, I think this is one of them. All right. Let's go look at some CCUs and we'll wrap this thing up. All right. If you look here, we got the Guardian QI to the Prowler Utility. It is $275, and it looks like you're spending $15 to save $25, which isn't great, but it's okay. It's an okay. This is kind of what I'm expecting from CIG now. Is kind of just these okay upgrades. I'm not expecting like these amazing, money saving opportunities anymore, because I think CIG is kind of like, we've let you have your field day with saving money on our ships. Now you're only going to save a little bit. So if you haven't started building your fleet, if you're spending money on the game, because remember, all of these things can be purchased in game. Never forget, you don't have to purchase anything except your game package. You don't have to buy anything. You can just purchase it in game. And that's actually what I would suggest, is just buying everything in game. But these videos are for the people who like to purchase things. So yeah, the idea here is that the Prowler Utility is $275. I think at $275, it is worth the purchase for the people who love the Prowler. I'm going to obviously do a review on it, but my first impression is, if you love the Prowler, you love the look of it, you don't really need a whole lot of utility out of it. It'll be a decent stealth cargo ship. I don't know if it'll be much more useful than that, but it's a cool ship. It's one of the coolest ships in the game, and you can get, a $15 CCU to it and just sit on it, and that's probably what I'll do, because I don't need one anytime soon. But yeah, I like it. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of more variants, so that way you don't have to build out more ships. Yeah, and then you can still give the people what they want. It takes less time to create a variant than it does to pop out, a whole new ship from ground up. So I'm cool with CIG giving us, like a variant every month or every month and a half, rather than just popping out a new ship. So I love it. I love this idea. I love what CIG is doing with it. All right, back to the CCUs. $15 for 25, not so great. I'm gonna get all of these, just so you know. I always buy one of each CCU, and I only do that because if they come back, if I end up needing a CCU to get to one of these ships or whatever, or just wanting to purchase one of these ships, I'll always have a CCU just ready to go. And if I don't, then I'll just end up having, $400 worth of CCUs that I could just melt and end up buying a cool ship with it. So that's my thought process. Anyway, let's look for the next one. The next one, they still have the Starlancer TAC, the Asgard, the Guardian MX, all still available. So if you weren't able to pick those up, make sure you do. I wish this one was cool because this one's $10 and it gets you to the Guardian MX. But then you can't get the next one up to get the Prowler Utility. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. The other one, there were two other ones. Oh, the other one was cheaper. That's why I can't find it on here. Because I think the other one was the Defender. Let's see what the Defender has. The Defender is, I think this is going to be a 10 for 20. Yep, $10 for 20. Those are the kind of the weakest ones as far as CCUs go. This is a very common CCU, so I don't even think I'll be purchasing this one. It's 10 for 20. It doesn't save me any money, and it's very common. This will come back around. And even if it didn't, I already have 2 CCUs in this range. I have a Zeus MR to what is it, Terrapin. So yeah, so I don't need this CCU. Most people don't need it, so we'll just keep it going. I think the last one is the Merchantman CCU, and I do think it's $50. Yeah. Normally, once you get above 600, you're saving either $40 or $50. So, but I think this is, you have to spend 25 to get to it, and that might not be great. You'd have to get either an Arastra or Liberator. The Arastra is not going to come around as much as the Liberator, so I would probably say get the Liberator because that's going to be available at more sales than the Arastra is. So I would say get the Liberator if you're buying this. But yes, it's $25 to get 50. Now, 25 to get 50 isn't so bad at this price level. And the reason I say that is because even though this is probably going to come around again, you're probably not going to get a better CCU deal at this price for the Merchantman specifically. Other ships maybe, but the Merchantman specific, probably not. So you might end up with a 10 for 50 or something like that. But again, all you're doing is saving this CCU, putting it in the closet, and then next year you can decide whether you want to actually use it or not. But the Merchantman's not coming out for a while anyway, so even if you bought something like this, you're going to be holding it for a while anyway. So I always say don't apply your CCUs. Wait until the last minute. Wait till the ship's debut, and then apply your CCUs. Especially if you're on the fence about it. Even if the ship comes out, if you're still on the fence about it, just wait. Give it a little, like a few months after the ship you like comes out and see if it's still worth it after a few months. But yeah, that is the CCUs, and that is Alien Week. Like I said, I do have some ships to give away, so I'll probably be going live in the next few days, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and I will be giving away those ships. So make sure that you stay tuned, and yeah, make sure you like or dislike, make sure you leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed, and you will be able to win whatever ships we give away for this month. And that's all I have. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks for joining. I still have all those members, and I appreciate you. So shout out to you, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.